heck happened last week? What's going on, guys? Dick Support here, back to another video. Today we are talking about my Week 3 picks, and I just want to say one thing. What was the craziness that was Week 2? I just have no thoughts. Just nothing except what happened and how. Just how. With all the things that we saw that we just did not expect. I mean, I understand a few of these happening, but all of them? Let's just get into these picks. Alright, we have another AFC East divisional matchup for Thursday night. Patriots, Jets. For the Patriots, this is kind of shocking how good they have been, dare I say. I mean, they beat the Bengals Week 1, and then they go to overtime in Week 2. They're not playing bad football, and I will say, they're kind of solid. They're kind of a solid team. I don't think they're going to challenge for a playoff spot, do not get me wrong on that, but they're not bad. As for the Jets, there are clearly still things that they need to work on, but they got a win last week against the Titans. That's all that matters. They got the first win. More than I can say for some of these teams, but I'm not talking about those. As for this game, Patriots have had the Jets number for years. Even last year they had the Jets number. I think that changes this year. Give me the Jets at home. Okay, the Browns coming off a matchup where they got destroyed by Dallas, didn't really do that much better offensively against Jacksonville. The defense was a whole lot better. I mean, the defense was so much better. They're the reason they won that game. But the offense still has to improve. As for the Giants, well, when your kicker gets hurt and you can't make your extra points, it's hard to win those games. I mean, those points do matter, and that proved to be the difference because they lost 18-21. If they had their kicker, the game would have possibly gone into overtime. Give me the Browns. Bears taking on the Colts. For the Colts, they could not complete the comeback against the Green Bay Packers. They just fell short. Meanwhile, for the Bears, they're coming off a tough loss Sunday night against the Texans. This one's a tough one, and it's really tough to say. For Caleb Williams, he's got to play better. I mean, last week, he just was not great. Anthony Richardson, same thing. He threw 3 interceptions. He's got to play better than that. They're both young. I still have faith in both of them. As for this game, give me the Colts. Houston taking on Minnesota. How is Minnesota 2-0? Like, seriously, how is Minnesota 2-0? Was Sam Darnold good the entire time and the Jets just ruined him? Wait, that actually makes sense. Get him with competent coaching. Yeah, that actually makes perfect sense. As for Houston, I mean, they're 2-0. They have to fight in these games, but it doesn't matter. They are 2-0, still the favorites in the AFC South. I'm going to go with them over the Vikings. Philadelphia taking on the Saints. Both of these teams with interesting results in Week 2. Philadelphia lost on Monday night to the Falcons. Meanwhile, for the Saints, how the heck did the Saints beat the Cowboys like they did? They manhandled them. I have no idea how this has happened. The Saints are 2-0. No one saw that coming. I got the Eagles winning this game, but if the Saints somehow win this, then I don't know what this season's going to become at this point. And it's only Week 3. Chargers taking on Pittsburgh. For Pittsburgh, it's clear why they're 2-0. Play great defense. T.J. Watt goes off. Justin Fields protects the ball. At some point, have George Pickens make a big play. That can continue to happen for Pittsburgh. They're going to easily win the AFC North. Meanwhile, for the Chargers, they have a plan, and it's to run the ball. Exactly that. What Jim Harbaugh's doing so far, it's exactly what the Chargers needed on offense. They needed the running game to complement Justin Herbert. And it's essentially needed now because the receiving core, yeah, it really got demolished in the offseason. But I'll tell you what, Quentin Johnston, 2 touchdowns. Not bad. Not bad. As for this game, I gotta go Pittsburgh at home. Denver taking on Tampa Bay. For Denver, it's clear it's a long-term goal for them. For Bo Nix, we're going to see how the season ends for him. It's not going to be how he starts, it's going to be how he finishes. There's going to be struggles. And at this point, I don't know who's going to be on the Broncos roster by the end of the season. Whether it's by trade or somebody gets hurt or whatever happens, I don't know who's going to be on this roster come season end. And that's just the truth. Meanwhile, for the Buccaneers, clearly, right now, the best team in the NFC South. I know the Saints are doing great, but for me, it's still the Buccaneers' division to lose. I'm going with them. Green Bay taking on Tennessee. Green Bay's facing off against an AFC South opponent for the second week in a row. For Tennessee, they're coming off a back-and-forth loss with the New York Jets. Green Bay, they got their win last week against the Colts despite a comeback opportunity and the fact that Jordan Love was out. Malik Willis did a solid job. I say that happens again, and Green Bay takes it over Tennessee. Carolina taking on the Raiders. Carolina, not much more I can say, and for Bryce Young, I'll have a separate video on that, so look forward to that. For the Raiders, I have no idea how they pulled it off, but they just manhandled Baltimore in the fourth quarter. Give me the Raiders. Miami taking on Seattle. For Miami, Tua Tagovailoa is on IR, and I still have no idea if he's ever going to play football ever again. And I'm on the thought process of we're not going to see him on the field ever. As for Seattle, they are 2-0 right now. Actually, they're winning the NFC West at the moment. Make it 3-0. I'm going with them. Detroit taking on Arizona. Detroit, they're coming off a tough loss to Tampa Bay. And for Arizona, this was another shocker. How did Arizona handle the Rams like they did? They hadn't beaten the Rams in Arizona in 10 years. And then they just destroy them. I told you it was going to be a more competitive game than you probably thought. I didn't think the Cardinals were going to do that to them. I'm still going to go with Detroit, though. Baltimore taking on Dallas. Dallas, the less said about the Saints game to a Cowboys fan, the better. As for the Ravens, the less said about the fourth quarter against the Raiders to a Ravens fan, the better. Right now, I've got the Ravens with the worst offensive line and the worst secondary after that performance. I think CeeDee Lamb's just going to go off. Give me Dallas. San Francisco taking on the Rams. Both these teams, they just suffered tough losses. San Francisco, Sam Darnold just made the defense of the 49ers look like soup. Pretty much. Especially when Justin Jefferson had that 97-yard touchdown reception. Meanwhile, for the Rams, just everything went wrong against the Cardinals. Give me the 49ers. KC taking on Atlanta. Atlanta, nice way to get a win. I'll say it. KC taking on Atlanta. For Atlanta, nice win. You know, got the win against the Eagles. Was a tough game, and they came out victorious. KC, can the referees please stop helping the Chiefs? You know, can it just not happen this week? I'm going with the Chiefs anyway. I think nobody's expecting the Falcons to beat them. So you don't need to help them out, refs. You really don't. First of two Monday night matchups, Jacksonville, Buffalo. Jacksonville, they're just not looking good right now. They're 0-2, and Trevor Lawrence, he's not playing great. He's just not. They got to turn this around quick. Buffalo, they're 2-0, and I mean, what more do I have to say? They should still be considered the favorites in the AFC East, and that's all I got to say. Give me Buffalo. Second game is going to be Washington taking on Cincinnati. For Washington, they're coming off a win against the Giants in a game where they did not score a touchdown. They had 7 field goals and got 21 points. And one kicker was amazing, the other was hurt. Difference in the game. Cincinnati, just a tough loss. I mean, it was just a tough loss to Kansas City. They probably should have had that game, and then that defensive pass interference was the difference in the matchup. Gonna go Cincinnati. I think they get their first win. But Jane Daniels, he's looking pretty good so far. Looking like the best rookie quarterback out of this class right now. Alright guys, those are my thoughts on the games in Week 3. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. As always, I'll see you guys next time.